Ladies and gentlemen, in one corner, wearing black trunks with cardinal red stripes, it's Aaron!
Woo, yeah!
In the opposing corner, wearing powerful purple and gold trunks, it's Matt!
Boo!
Welcome to Best Ball Bros! I'm Matt.
I'm Aaron.
And as we mentioned before, today we are going head to head in our draft. But first we're going to do a little bit of news, and then we're also going to pick our division winners.
Yeah, we got together earlier this week, and it is officially now after 4th of July. And we really feel, both of us, that the season news and all this is really going to start ramping up. So we thought maybe we can squeeze one fun episode in before it starts getting real serious. And we thought maybe let's go ahead and pick our division champs and see who's actually right and wrong.
And we get football this month.
Yes, we do.
After the long wait. Football this month. Here we go.
It's preseason.
Yes, unfortunately. It's the Hall of Fame game.
But football's football.
It is football, and we'll all be regretting it by the third quarter.
Yes. If it takes that long.
So, Aaron, you want to start us out with the news?
Kind of the only really fantasy relevant news was the Pittsburgh-Miami trade that happened earlier this week, sending Jonnu Smith to Pittsburgh for Jalen Ramsey.
You had mentioned this trade was a possibility before, almost 4 weeks ago already?
Yeah, well, there was rumor mills going around about it, and Arthur Smith loves him some Jonnu Smith.
Yes, he did.
So
back when Jonnu Smith was on the Falcons with Kyle Pitts, the two of them combined for 1,300 yards and 103 receptions on 160 targets.
So with this trade, after the trade goes by, Miami also decided they needed a tight end because they just traded theirs away.
They were desperate for a tight end.
So they go with Darren Waller. They ended up trading for his contract with New York so he can unretire and come play for the Dolphins. So, big picture, it's Jonnu Smith is now with Pittsburgh. Darren Waller is now with the Dolphins. So, how do you feel about these moves?
It's kind of hard to say.
Because I have it broken down into like a good and bad segment.
Good and bad. I think Jonnu Smith and Freiermuth are just going to kind of rotate games going off.
Well, they got Washington too, and he was coming on at the end of the season last year as even a third tight end option in Pittsburgh.
Maybe, but we'll find out. I think if you're rolling with the two tight end offense, you're probably not going to see the third tight end on the field very often, except for goal line.
So the way I have it, I think it's ultimately going to be bad for the tight end. I think what this does is we saw, if we're looking at tight ends on the board while we're drafting, we saw Jonnu Smith. Couple names down, couple rounds later, you're looking at Pat Freiermuth. I think this just kind of moves Jonnu Smith to where we had Pat Freiermuth, and I think this knocks Pat Freiermuth off of our boards.
Probably, it probably does depress both of their values.
So I think...
But Jonnu will probably be the more valuable tight end.
Oh, yeah.
Just because Arthur Smith loves him.
Yes. So that's the bad. Do you see any good out of it?
Good for Aaron Rodgers, probably.
Okay.
Earlier in his career, he used his tight end pretty well. Had him as one of the better tight ends, and he veered away from that as his career progressed. But I think if they kind of limit his scope of the offense and make it more rushing based, it could help Aaron Rodgers.
I think it gives him a second pass catcher.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he as it sits now, he's throwing to DK Metcalf and now Jonnu Smith and nobody else.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, I do think on the Miami side, I wouldn't touch Darren Waller if you paid me to touch him.
He wasn't going to be very high in the draft in the first place.
Well, no, he wasn't playing football 2 weeks ago.
Well, even with the news of him being reactive, even if he was staying on the Giants and coming back, although he retired because of how he was treated with the Giants. But even with him coming back, I don't foresee him doing well.
No, I think, if anything, this might open the field up a little bit more for Achane or Waddle. Whoever's operating in the middle of the field, that helps. This might help somebody wanting to take maybe a flyer on Rodgers late might just help him boost the, I guess he'll throw a little bit, but
yeah, I think, but like you said, in the Dolphins offense, removing Johnny Smith probably helps Waddle's numbers because he's been more of a shallow yards after catch guy to medium. He doesn't really run very deep routes.
This doesn't boost my confidence with Pittsburgh at all. I know we're talking divisional champs. There's no way you have Pitt as your divisional champ.
Definitely not.
I don't feel great about Miami, and this is just... It seems like more of just a loud offseason that's...
But
people are grasping for straws, and it doesn't feel good.
That's just how Aaron Rodgers likes to do his off seasons. He likes to make the big moves, and he likes to get the trades, and he likes to catch the headlines so he can go on Pat McAfee. Unfortunately, that's just kind of what he's devolved to in his career. He's not a serious quarterback anymore.
If we were invited on the Pat McAfee show, we would 100% go.
Absolutely,
so.
But we don't have the credentials to be there, and Aaron Rodgers should probably be focusing more on being a quarterback now than going on a podcast.
Me and you would look like Make-A-Wish kids there.
Absolutely.
We're just happy to be here.
Look at this. We got a professional athlete sitting next to two mail carriers.
That's the only news I had. You want to hop into champs, or you want to...
All right, let's go with it.
All right, so we've kept these hidden from each other.
Yes, we have.
So would you like to start AFC or NFC?
Let's go NFC because we're both more NFC guys.
All right, well, let's start with the NFC North then.
NFC North, I have to pick the Vikings.
Okay, we have that one together.
Okay. I guess no further explanation needed.
No, I think we're both very excited about the possibilities of this team.
In every single podcast we've mentioned losing the offensive coordinator and losing their center. We've mentioned that over and over and over. So
with the Lions.
With the Lions, yes. I'm sorry. The division leaders suddenly they lose some very important pieces.
Now this one was tougher for me to pick because I kind of see Green Bay in a very similar mold of Minnesota. I just think Minnesota has better receiving core.
I would honestly just say the Vikings defense is better.
Yeah, but this is fantasy and we don't like defenses.
That's fine. I agree with you, but if we're picking a division winner, we have to pick the defense as well. And I'd agree they're a more rounded team all around.
Yes. So all right, NFC South, who you got?
I'm picking Atlanta. I've been going on them. I've been riding high on Atlanta.
This love affair has to end here soon.
I love Michael Penix. I love Penix.
I have Tampa.
Okay.
I have Tampa. I think Baker Mayfield and them just keep it rolling. Bucky Irving, we're super high on Bucky Irving. Yeah. I think he's going to tear it up again. You got Mike Evans. You got Chris Godwin coming back. They picked up a rookie receiver.
Yes.
I think in this division, it's going to be who can score. Saints play a little bit of defense. Carolina's a train wreck. So
I'm higher on Carolina than you are.
Yeah,
a lot of that is the second half of the season.
So you have Atlanta, I have Tampa. NFC East, who you got?
It's hard to go against Philadelphia.
Ooh. I have Washington.
You have Washington.
I think Philly might take the Super Bowl slump a little hard.
But
it's hard to say Washington's going to keep it rolling second year. They brought in Debo, which I don't know if Debo's going to be a great fantasy.
Probably not.
But I think he's good for the team.
He can help cover up that bad offensive line.
Yes.
By doing the screen action, by doing short receiving, doing jet sweeps, stuff like that. Even though he wanted to shy away from that with the 49ers, all of those things can help them. However, I just think Philadelphia's offensive line and defensive line are just too good to bet against.
It's hard to bet against a team that, when you need 3 yards, will get you 3 yards every time.
Every time.
Every single time. I'm just glad that neither of us went what every sports podcast and radio host is going to do, and somebody in that group picks Dallas, even though Dallas is never going to win.
No.
Love their fantasy options, but it's still the Dallas Cowboys. So you've got Philly, I've got Washington. Rounded out NFC West. Who you got?
I'm betting on San Fran to bounce back.
I don't hate that. This was one of those ones where it was tough for me too. But I went the Rams.
My only concern is Matt Stafford's age shows up in a bad way.
It's a possibility. You ride it till the wheels fall off. And if the wheels fall off this season, then oh crap.
Okay, so let's go with the AFC East.
AFC East?
Yes.
Buffalo.
Who
else is going to win it?
No, there's no competition there.
I choose the Jets. I mean, shut up.
They've been in the AFC Championship like 3 years running.
Now, if New England can get their crap together, it just seems like Buffalo struggles with New England. But he's arguably the best quarterback. He's got the same coaching staff. And the offense is Josh Allen go win us football game, and he wins. So
he is not afraid to put his body on the line, and everybody expected that offense to regress last year, and then Khalil Shakir came on, and that offense was even better.
Yeah, we do need to deep dive into Shakir a little bit whenever we do get a chance, because I think what happened last year with him in our head is more than what he actually produced. I think he finished last year as like the receiver 37.
But that was still receiver 1 in that offense.
Right, but again, that's receiver 1 in one of the best offenses, and it was only receiver 37. There's only 32 teams. He wasn't even receiver 1 out of 32. He was 37. Now, granted, I could be completely wrong about these numbers, but something tells me he didn't finish as well as we thought he did.
Well, a lot of their offense was spread out pretty evenly, and James Cook, if I remember correctly, took quite a few passes out of the backfield. No, he was surprisingly good out of the backfield receiving wise.
I think Cook was like running back 14 or something.
Yeah, he had a really good year.
Yeah,
which is why, from my understanding, he's trying to get a new contract, and Buffalo is
just pay him.
Buffalo is willing to play hardball with that.
Like, okay, we're gonna make a stance. We both believe you don't pay the running back if you're the team, but if you're the running back, go get your money, sir.
Unfortunately, it's just hard to pay a running back supremely well unless if you're Derrick Henry, Saquon, or CMC.
Yeah, so this is a fun episode. Now we can play GM a little bit. I'd draft a rookie running back every year.
It's hard to argue not. The only difference, though, is that you'd kind of also like to pick up a flyer veteran just for somebody that's just like, when we need you to block, go hit somebody, please.
If I can sign...
Third long, we need you to stop a blitz.
Look, if I can sign old Steven Jackson or LeGarrette Blount or Frank Gore to just go clog a line, like, yeah, I'll do that in a heartbeat.
Okay. So, rolling on AFC North, Baltimore, right?
Baltimore, yes.
Okay.
Now, I struggled more with this one because I think Cincinnati will give them a run for their money.
If they can find a defense.
You don't have to find a defense. They're going to go out there and they're going to say, you have to score 48 points to beat us. Because we're going to score 47.
Okay, and then Baltimore is going to be like, have fun throwing the ball everywhere. We're just going to hand the ball to Derrick Henry all game.
Yeah.
And we're going to eat up that clock.
Yeah. Well, I have Baltimore winning the division.
Yes.
I'm just thinking, I think Cincinnati makes this a little bit more fun than we thought.
Okay, so AFC South. Who are you picking?
I want to hear yours first.
All right, I think Houston probably does it again.
I have Jacksonville.
You have Jacksonville?
I
struggled between the two.
I'm so excited about what Jacksonville could be. And I think it's all going to come down to Trevor Lawrence. I know we've had this discussion.
We've kind of been saying that for 2-3 years now.
I think we've had the discussion on the podcast. This is going to be the year they figure out if Trevor Lawrence is their quarterback.
They've already paid him, though.
We've seen teams pay dead cap everywhere else. So I think this year they figure out if Trevor Lawrence is their guy. And if Trevor Lawrence is the guy, I think they can win the division.
I waffled between Houston and Jacksonville. But I just think Houston's defense, again, is probably just a little bit better.
Oh, your defense. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's enough to keep them at the top.
I just, seeing CJ Stroud not even like plateau last year, it almost like he declined a little bit, that worries me with you.
I can get that, but at the same time, they were throwing to Stephon Diggs, who is clearly not the same wide receiver, and Tank Dell missed how many games?
Oh, yeah.
So
Which there's a little bit of news that I don't think we've touched. They've already put Tank Dell on season-ending IR.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's
We wish him well. I hope he fully recovers. Take all the time he needs.
yes. I at least fight and get back on the field one more time.
All right, so
this is where we're gonna have fun.
AFC West.
AFC West. I have the Denver Broncos winning this division.
You really love Bo Nix and Sean Payton.
And RJ Hart.
You can't quit Sean Payton with your Saints love.
Look, as a New Orleans Saints fan.
Was it the Netflix movie? Is that what it is?
No, it was not. I have refused to watch that Netflix.
I haven't watched it either, but it's still funny.
Although, Kevin James, we do love you. They did a poll. NFL does polls every week, it feels like.
Uh-huh.
And the NFL, like other coaches in the NFL, have ranked him like the third or fourth best coach.
You can't argue with. He's a very good offensive mind.
And he improved the defense when he got there. He was able to walk into this building where everybody thought Russell Wilson was going to be, Captain Go Lucky. And he was like, no, he cannot play football anymore. I'm going to take a rookie quarterback and do 100 times better than Russell Wilson will do with this roster, and he did it. He's walked into that room, taking control of this, and I just don't want to vote for the Chiefs to win.
See, I think it's hard to argue not to pick the Chiefs just for on the pure fact of they won, I think, 10 games by a one score differential, yes. And you can say all this stuff about it was not sustainable and all that, but I think it just comes down to it. They know how to win. They have a great coach, and they sat behind that defense more than they usually do. And I think Mahomes, you can't bet against him. It's hard to.
I think this division is crazy.
Yes, it was honestly a pretty hard.
I mean, it was between Kansas City, Denver, and the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers. I waffled on them too, and
I just always feel like the Chargers are going to be better than they actually are.
It's been that way for a long time. I know the joke on Twitter is the Chargers are chargering, and they just find a way to lose in the fourth quarter.
Look, we are children of the LaDainian Tomlinson era. He just made the Chargers cool.
Watching him jump over the pile was so much fun.
He made the Chargers cool. And here's the thing, Pete Carroll going to the Raiders, it's going to improve the Raiders. Between this division and the NFC East, I think those are the two best divisions of football. There's a reason those two divisions were playing for the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, I'd agree.
We got our picks, so we'll be able to go back and reference this episode when we're trying to figure out how dumb we actually are. So we are doing head-to-head on Yahoo again, correct? Yes. So if you guys give us a second, we're going to get everything pulled up, and we will be right back with you.
Okay, we are back. And so Aaron is drafting at 3, and I'm drafting at 4.
Yes. So we couldn't separate us if you tried, I guess.
Apparently not.
So we got about 10 seconds left till this starts. How you looking? How you feel about the 4th spot?
I have drafted Justin Jefferson in so many leagues, it's not even funny.
Yeah, I'm curious what the team in front of me is going to do because I might be slotted to take a guy. Yeah, I haven't gotten him anywhere yet. He just fell to me. I'm thinking I might play some hero ball here and go Saquon Barkley. Now, I don't think he's going to have as good of a year as last year, but I do think he's still going to give you pretty close to running back 1 number.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and just for sake of difference, I'll take CeeDee Lamb.
Okay, I don't hate that here. There is a world where CeeDee Lamb finishes as the number 1 receiver.
Dak definitely loves him.
Yes, so
now the long wait.
I'm interested to see now what I can do. This is goofy because I feel like I can't talk too much out with you because you're one pick in front of me now. So are there any names that interest you here?
I definitely need to see who falls to me. McCaffrey goes off the board.
2nd round.
Brock Bowers goes off the board.
Brock Bowers.
I'm up in 2 picks.
It's hard to not like your draft after one pick, but I'm almost already regretting the Saquon pick because I'm usually not a running back first kind of guy.
I'm on the clock, staring at Taylor, Bucky Irving. I'm reaching down, taking Drake London.
I don't hate that. So I have kind of two guys on my board. If I'm going hero ball, I already have a Philadelphia Eagle with A.J. Brown, so I think I'm going to go Lad McConkey here. See what comes back to me on this turn. Because on this turn, I might be going a little bit more than hero ball, grabbing Bucky Irving or Kyron Williams.
Whoever falls down to you.
Yes.
Or if both of them get snatched up, Chase Brown's right behind him.
Yeah. Because I do not like the receivers on the board after those.
Those guys are probably going to get auto-drafted in front of you because we appear to have a couple auto-drafters.
That's awesome. A.J. Brown's still falling down.
They have him slotted at 17, and number 21 is on the board right now.
Oh, he just went in front of me. That kind of helps me draft. I guess I'm going to go 2 running backs early, and I'll take Kyron Williams. So I have Saquon, Kyron Williams, and Lad McConkey so far.
All right, so I'm going to take Chase Brown.
I like Chase Brown. I like grabbing running backs in high-powered offenses.
He's definitely going to get his work cut out for him in that offense.
Let's see. Who does that have me slotted to take on my next turn?
Mike Evans.
Oh, nope. I'm slotted for Jalen Hurts. I'm not taking a quarterback early like this. I'm looking at the board of what's falling. There's still a lot of running backs down there that I like. Not a lot of receivers that I'm super confident in. I think this might just be a year where I like going 0 running back and piecing together what I can from that.
It's hard to argue against it, considering last draft, now granted 10-team league, but even going 0 RB felt pretty good about that running back room.
All right, so you're in front of me, right? So who you have your eye on here?
I guess I'm going to go with old man Mike Evans.
Ooh, that's a bummer. That's who I wanted. I'll take the guy that's slotted right above him as my receiver 2. I'll take a shot with Garrett Wilson being the main pass catcher with the Jets, getting his college teammate Justin Fields quarterback. I'll take a shot. Then coming around the turn, looking at maybe a Chuba Hubbard. That'd be going high T offense right there. Going 3 early running backs. Joe Mixon's still there.
Chuba Hubbard just goes off the board.
All right. Alvin Kamara's still here. Kimbo Walker, DK Metcalf, Zay Flowers.
DJ Moore, who people are talking that he might be the dud wide receiver in that offense. You're up.
I am up. I've taken him for years and years and years. I cannot shake him to save my life. I'm going to grab DK Metcalf here.
Somebody reached down and took James Conner, who I had my eye on. So
you felt more confident on James Conner over Alvin Kamara or Kimbo Walker. Joe Mixon's still there.
I didn't think Kamara was going to fall, but I think I'm going to take him now. But I had my eye on James Conner.
All right, so you're up next before I am. Is there a guy down there that you're looking at?
Probably going to take Waddle, assuming he stays on the board.
Now, is that influenced by our little bit of news maybe opening him up at all? Or
I'm hoping to recapture some of that former glory he had going on before.
So my pick, DJ Moore's still falling here, and we can kind of come back to this conversation. So are you higher on DJ Moore or Rome Odunze for this offense?
I'm definitely
or the rookie receiver
Luther Burden.
Yeah, Luther Burden.
I think Rome Odunze, I think he slots into the same role that Amon-Ra St. Brown did in the Lions offense.
Okay.
So I think he's going to get more work. I don't think Ben Johnson is going to be happy seeing how DJ Moore was kind of quitting on routes.
Now, so a guy who's also falling here, who I think you're more confident than I am on this, is Chris Godwin.
He keeps falling, but
you did take Mike Evans.
I took Mike Evans.
Devontae Smith is here, but that's a lot of Philadelphia. DJ Moore still falling.
I'm not going to lie, just for the memes, I kind of want to take Chris Godwin for the double wide receiver offense. But
you could go super stack and grab Baker Mayfield.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
I mean, that's the.
Let's do it.
You're going for super stack. All right.
So that's assuming he still falls because I would have to take him pretty much with my next pick.
I'm gonna reach. This is a little bit of a reach. I'm gonna grab RJ Harvey here. I think I'm gonna take a shot, and I have a conversation to have with you.
He just keeps climbing the boards.
On this turn, I'm looking at possibly a Chris Olave or Rome Odunze. George Pickens, Baker Mayfield's there for your super stack.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be my fourth receiver, and Jalen Waddle's on the board, and he scares me.
I think that just comes down to you got burned by Miami wide receiver last year, and I think you don't want to touch the hot stove again.
I had Tyreek Hill burn me last year. Jalen Waddle burnt me a couple years ago. Every time I think I'm grabbing the right Miami Dolphin, it ends up being the wrong Miami Dolphin.
You just don't want to touch the hot stove. I get it.
It's hot. It hurts. I don't want to touch it.
I had to learn that lesson more than once as a child.
I am going to be up in 2 picks. Jalen Waddle is slotted for me, and for me, it's between Chris Olave and Rome Odunze. This is tough. Chris Olave is obviously the receiver one, but he's got health issues. Rome Odunze could be, if Rome Odunze is to that offense what Amon-Ra St. Brown is to Detroit, then Rome Odunze is a league winner. Oh, this one's tough. I'm gonna go Rome Odunze here.
I'm surprised you didn't take Olave to offset my Kamara pick.
It was hard. That one's pretty tough. If for some way, now I'd have to survive like 8 more picks if Olave somehow made it back down there.
I'm going to take Waddle.
So you were wanting Waddle last round, and he fell to you. So I'm sure you feel pretty good about that.
I kind of like it. I feel like I got a little bit of value out of that.
Okay, so far my roster is looking like Ladd McConkey, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Rome Odunze for my receivers. Running backs, I got Saquon, Kyron Williams, and RJ Harvey. When you're slotted to pick before me, how do you feel about that one?
I'm just hoping TJ Hawkinson falls.
Oh, man.
He would have to fall a couple slots more, but we're about to find out.
Yeah, yeah, we are. There's a guy who I'm hesitant to mention right now.
Bo Nix, I see you got his eye on him.
Yeah, he's already queued. But if we're just looking at who's left right now, quarterback-wise, there are still my guys that I can survive with. If I don't get Bo Nix, I might wait. Chris Olave's falling still. We're at pick 75. He just went. See, when I mention guys I want, they disappear. And I know you're gritting your teeth because Hawkinson is 1 pick away from being yours.
And it's really looking like he's about to get auto-drafted in front of me.
10 seconds.
Which is unfortunate. Oh! He falls to me. My preferred tight end falls down to me.
All right. So with that...
All right, go ahead and take Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah, you saw it. I didn't want you getting him.
He was my backup if Hawkinson got taken in front of me. I can't say sniped because I got him pretty much at ADP.
So this is a 17 player roster. I already have 4 running backs. So
I only have 2. I need to buckle down to get some.
So I think I might take some shots late now. I only have 4 receivers. I like 7 on these kind of rosters, but Bo Nix is going to be there on the turn. He's 3 picks away, and it's really going to be tempting not to take him here. Pair him with my RJ Harvey. There's not really anybody. Justin Fields and Justin Herbert are also here. There's just nobody in this round 9, round 10 kind of rankings that I necessarily like. Jerry Jeudy's here. Cleveland scares me, man, and it's...
understandable.
I don't think it's necessarily any fault of of Jerry Jeudy. It's more of just the environment that the Browns have created. We were looking at it while we were picking our division. Cleveland has the longest odds out of the NFL to win their division.
Oh, wow. I just noticed I'm up next.
Yes, and Bo Nix is there for me. I'm going to pull it.
Have Adam.
I'm going to pull it. Bo Nix is going to be my starting quarterback for the year.
I don't like anybody on the board in front of me.
This is a gross kind of...
I guess running back's going to wait one more round as I take Khalil Shakir.
You know, I scrolled down there. You jumped right past Ricky Pearsall and Jawan Jennings to reach down there and grab Shakir. And we did talk about on this very podcast. about Shakir. So
I think a lot of the 49ers offense is going to depend on the health of Christian McCaffrey. And I think if he's closer to full form, then I think that offense goes. But we're going to find out just how that offense looks now. And also, I think George Kittle's going to be a pretty big part of that offense, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, Mark Andrews is on the board right now. I'll just read down the top names left on the board as Mark Andrews goes. We got Tyrone Tracy Jr., Jordan Mason, Jalen Warren, Justin Herbert, David Njoku, Brock Purdy, Stephon Diggs is all the way up here. Zach Charbonnet, Josh Downs. Those are all in order. And I don't necessarily feel great about any of those names.
We're on pick 92 right now, and almost everybody slotted in the 80s is still on the board.
Yeah,
apparently, the 80s ADP is a little wonky.
I think that's why I don't mind taking this middle rung. It's not early quarterback, it's more middle rung quarterback. Because this ADP, I don't know, ADP like 105 to like 80, 84, 83. I'm not excited about any of these names, really. You were coming up on the clock, sir.
I am up next.
Is there any name here that you're liking?
I'm just going to go Charbonnet.
I don't hate that.
I need some running backs, and I would have had to have reached a lot further down the board to get some of the names I like.
Yeah, I mean, a name here, I'm just going to go with... I'm gonna roll with Josh Downs. He seems like he can be the deep ball threat for that offense. I think he's a really good receiver on a really bad offense. So, it's going to be tricky with that team. I'm learning with these head-to-head drafts that it's kind of hard to concentrate because I want to beat you so bad.
That, and I think it's hard for you to concentrate right now with your cat tearing up the back of your couch. He's been going wild since we hit record.
Yes, for the audience, Beaver, my cat, if Mr. Matt here doesn't do a good job of editing him out or can escape him, I
don't think I'm going to be able to.
He is featured heavily in today's podcast, so everybody.
He's been going ham with that Nerf ball.
So, I am on the clock. Who did you take with your last pick, sir?
My last pick was Charbonnet.
Charbonnet, okay. I don't hate that. I'm going to reach down here and grab a guy who I'm higher on than most. Tank Bigsby.
I had him starred. He keeps sliding, so I'm going to take him Herbert at 104, and they have him slotted at 87.
You know, I don't. That's your guy.
With the reduced roster, I'm just going to be taking two quarterbacks. Feel good about.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in that same boat too. Especially grabbing a guy who I think is going to be the guy. I for my roster, I really need to start looking at tight end. I already have 5 running backs. I kind of only want to carry 6. So, and I have 5 receivers, so I want to carry maybe 2 more of those. I do need a backup quarterback.
I just keep watching people in my queue disappear.
It's fantastic. This draft feels like names kind of dried up pretty quickly.
I thought I was queuing people a lot further down the board than I needed to, but I just keep watching people get taken.
So there are some later...
And there goes one of my picks. I was hoping to take your handcuff, J.K. Dobbins, but somebody reached down. It said he was supposed to be available at 1:30, and they just took him at 1:15.
Yeah. All right, so you are on the clock, sir. Who are you looking at?
On the clock. Let's just go Bateman.
You know, I'm going to try to offset a little bit of your CD Lamb, and I'll go Dak Prescott here. And I'm up again in 3 picks. There are just not a whole lot of names here that I like.
Cooper Kupp just goes off the board at 119.
How do you feel about Cooper Kupp this year? Have we talked about him on the podcast?
We haven't really talked about him, and I forget who it was a long time ago pointed out on Twitter that Rams they use a lot of the player tracking, and they're very high on their sports staff, their rehab staff, and they just let him walk, which seems to be kind of a black mark on his record right now.
Well, I think with the decline that we watched with him with the Rams, I think that's what kind of scared everybody off. I am up I'm on the clock. Oh, there are not a lot of names I like here.
You definitely have to reach down the board right now.
Yeah, I'm scrolling. I have 15 seconds. There are just okay. I'm gonna grab Dalton Kincaid here.
Thank you for not taking Austin Eckler. So I just took him.
I already have 5 running backs.
I needed a running back.
I need a tight end.
You're betting on Dalton Kincaid to finally becoming the receiving option in that offense.
No, I think
he had all this hype coming out as a rookie, and ever since then we've seen him fall further and further down the draft.
so. There are a couple names at tight end I still like here, but he was the highest.
I would have kept reaching down the board.
I'm looking. I'm scrolling down. I already have 2 quarterbacks. I kind of want to take another shot with another rookie running back, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't a whole lot here. There's one guy down here that I would like to take a shot with at receiver. I got a couple guys down here that I'm liking. Tight end, the way I built my roster, it really is my weakness. These picks are going fast, guys, so we will 100% kind of clear up our rosters at the end. But I know just from what I've drafted so far, tight end is going to be my biggest.
I'm up next. I'm going to take Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, I had a feeling that might be your guy.
Like I said, my last draft, I had a little cadre of guys that I was mixing and matching, and Penix is kind of one of those guys that I've been taking a lot of because I believe.
I'm going to grab Tyler Algier here he still gets work.
We both have 3 picks left.
So I think I like 2 more receivers and possibly 1 more tight end. I might swap that and go 2 more tight ends and 1 receiver. Oh no, one of my guys I had queued is off the board. Oh no, I don't know when he went.
Who was it?
Higgins, the rookie out of Texas.
He went in the 14th round.
14-4. Yeah, he went last round.
So that was pick 144. You're up next.
I am up next. I'm gonna take a guy who I'm higher on also. I'm taking rookies this draft a lot. I'm gonna go Tyler Warren.
I had him queued up, and I was gonna take him if you didn't.
Okay, well then that makes me feel better about that. He was still kind of down there.
He was a little bit.
You got Isaiah Likely, Zach Ertz are still on the board if you're still looking at tight end.
Yeah, I think I'll pick through those. I'll take Kyle Williams, New England wide receiver.
Ah, man, that is...
Matt Waldman had mentioned on a podcast that he very well could come away the number 1 wide receiver for the Patriots. So I believe in Matt Waldman and his ability to scout.
There are just not a whole lot of names I like left, which is a lot different than our last draft, where it seemed like there were names late that we both super liked. There's 3 tight ends that I still super like. Receiver-wise, there's another rookie that I could take a shot on. Being this late, that's kind of all I want to do is take shots on guys who...
Well, with only 2 picks left, it's kind of...
Yeah, but I'm reaching far down on this queue to find anything. So who are you possibly looking at for your next pick?
I'm just going to say it. I don't really like my running back room right now.
How many running backs you got?
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I definitely need a second tight end.
You only have 1 tight end right now?
I've only got 1 tight end right now.
We've got 2 more picks, correct?
Yes. 2 more picks. You're trying so hard not to yell at your cat in the middle of the draft as he's sharpening his claws on the back of the couch again.
Yeah, no, he's going to be put up for the next episode. 100%.
He is seeing ghosts down here.
It's the fire.
Oh wow, I'm on the board.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, sir.
I missed it. Do I go Kate Otten or Okonkwo?
I'd say run from Okonkwo.
You know, I'll just take Brenton Strange. I'm going to take your guy.
No, you didn't take my guy because I'm taking him now. Zach Ertz was who I was looking at.
Running backs.
Keandre Miller's still there for the Saints. I picked before you, correct?
Coming back to finish the draft? Yes, you picked before me on the last.
So, I'm higher on the rookie Higgins for the Texans, but you were telling me something about this other guy,
Noel.
I think he might be my pick here. I mean, somebody will evolve into that receiver 2 option.
Yes.
And I'm going to take my shot and grab him with that.
And we definitely learned it's not going to be Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz, okay.
Okay, so I'm looking between Blake Corum and Nick Chubb just for the last pick.
I take Corum over Chubb. Just personally, this is your team, so.
I believe Nick Chubb.
All right, so your team's complete?
My team is complete.
All right. So, do you want to go by position when we break these down for everybody to hear, or do you want to go just how it went in order?
I'll just go in order.
All right.
Do you want to start?
No, you can go first.
Okay. At 1-4, I went CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
At 2-7, Drake London. At 3-4, Chase Brown. 4-7, Mike Evans. 5-4, Alvin Kamara. 6-7, Chris Godwin. 7-4, Jalen Waddle. 8-7, TJ Hawkinson. 94, Khalil Shakir. 10th round, 7th pick, Zach Charbonnet. 11th round, Justin Herbert. 12th round, Rashad Bateman. 13th round, Austin Eckler. 14th round, Michael Penix Jr. 15th round, Kyle Williams. 16th round, Brenton Strange. 17th round, I just picked up Nick Chubb.
I don't really hate your roster.
The running back room's a little thin.
Yeah, but you have Chase Brown and Alvin Kamara leading that room, and I think those are two good options.
And in a half PPR league, Austin Eckler is not a bad idea. And Charbonnet, he had himself a couple games last year.
Now, if Charbonnet can stay healthy himself, I think he's hoping for Kemba Walker to give him more time on the field.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll go in order. I started with Saquon Barkley at 1-3. I went Ladd McConkey at 2-8. Kyron Williams at 3-3. Garrett Wilson at 4-8. DK Metcalf at 5-3. RJ Harvey at 6-8. Rome Odunze at 7-3. Brian Robinson Jr. at 8-8. Bo Nix at 9-3. Josh Downs at 10-8. Tank Bigsby at 11-3. Dak Prescott at 12-8. Dalton Kincaid at 11-3. Tyler Algier at 14-8. Tyler Warren at 15-3. Zach Ertz at 16-8. And Jalen Noel at 7.
My major criticism with your roster is, good Lord, I hate your quarterback room. But other than that, it's hard to argue with your roster. I think you've got a pretty good one.
So just looking,
I like your running backs more than I like mine.
Looking at how that my 12th round went, I ended up with Dak Prescott. Drake May went at 12-5. That's who I was gonna pick following it up.
Yeah, they got taken.
Yes.
Was that 3 picks in front of you?
Yes, and that kind of threw me off. If I would have taken a breath and realized McCarthy was still there, I probably would have went McCarthy over Dak Prescott. But part of that was also I kind of want to cancel out a little bit of those CD points.
Although you're playing against the rest of the league and not just me.
I do just want to beat you in this league. So I know who we're voting for on who our favorite rosters were. So.
Obviously, mine's the best.
Like we said earlier, this was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably next week we're going to start deep diving into more positions, and hopefully we have some more news to talk about. And
I think there's going to be some camps that are going on, aren't there?
I think some of them already started, but it's real early.
Just please give us camp news.
Just for you hype videos. So, but thanks for listening in, and we will see you all next time.
Tell us whose draft you like more in the comments.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.